If you're a Dwight main, you're new and you chose the simplest guy because you're a simple guy, or you're a day oneer and you're scary. If you main Meg, you're new and pretty shaky at the game. You chose her because you think she's the prettiest survivor. You're kind of adorable though. If you main Nia, you're also new and chose her for her crouch speed walk perk. Or you're a person who loves to troll with bully builds and bright outfits. If you main Claudette, you're probably more experienced at the game. You like her because she can be really nice for stealth, but also she's just a nice character with a cool self-care perk. If you main Jake, you're a medium skill level. You're fine enough to have on a team, but you might not be the star player. I'm sorry, but William players are so bad. It's not all Williams. But it's always a William. I've learned to go for you guys first as killer. Whenever I run into a Lori main, you guys are like low-key toxic. You're kind of always in a friggin' bully squad. And I'm not even sure if y'all are that good at it. Because usually I roll you guys, but you're mean as fuck. And just to clarify, I'm not really a killer main. I just refuse to solo queue. If you're an ace main, you are a menace to society. You're very good at the game, and you're always taking killers on a tour of the map. How kind of you. If you play Feng, you are very good at looping and causing chaos, but you refuse to touch gens. I've also had multiple Fangs get me killed in order to save themselves, so that's, yeah. So if you play David, honestly, you're a really varied group of people. Some of y'all are quite bad at the game, which is okay, and some of y'all are so scary good. Quentin mains are a rare find in lobbies, but you're likely a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, or you just like playing the pretty boy, especially after his model update. If you're a Detective Tap player, you are a Saw fan through and through. You usually keep your head down and you stay on gens rather than interacting with the killer on purpose. If you main Kate, you got her because of her insane perks, especially for beginners. You play her because she's pretty. Kate mains are usually slick and clever, but altruistic. You'll go out of your way to help someone off a hook. If you play Adam, it's similar to a Kate main in that you got him for deliverance, but you play him because he's handsome and he looks cool. For some reason, I always see Jeff mains in like the night shifty pajamas outfit. You're usually silly and you like to mess with the killer. Like maybe not like bully the killer, but you might, give them your toolbox before you leave, or you might juke them a little bit for funsies. A lot of people I see playing Jane have something like princess or queen or like that girl in your name or diva. So I'm assuming it is a lot of women play her. Or guys who still think women playing games is funny. I don't see a lot of Ashe mains, but just like Ashe, you are a goober. You don't take the game too seriously, which is very nice to see. If you play Nancy, you will lament her god-awful face model. You're generally chill and funny, nothing outlandish. Okay guys, update, she got a new face model, and while it looks better as a model, it doesn't look like her. I'm so sorry, Nancy mains. I've never met a serious Steve player. Like, whether you're playing a Steagle build or not, something about the vibes of the character just always makes Steve players very silly, very goofy, sometimes part of a bully squad, but more likely to have fun with the killer and with their fellow survivor. Yui mains tend to be pretty damn good at looping and tend to go out of their way to distract the killer while your teammates cook gens. You're genuinely just like a really good player. I don't see Zarina a lot in lobbies, which is honestly kind of a tragedy because this woman is gorgeous. But when I do see them, they're very competent and efficient, very like team mom vibes, if that makes sense. I have a few friends who main Cheryl, and they're all like soft and horror lovers with like a tough edge, Like, they're very sweet, but they might yell some very mean words when they're losing in game. But they're all just like sweethearts, because they can't, enemy team can't hear what's being yelled anyway. And you're pretty decent at the game. I often see Felix's paired with aces with the singular shared goal to terrorize the killer. If you play Elodie, you're probably pretty altruistic. You're maybe not amazing at the game, but you will go out of your way to help people off of hook. You're usually the first one to jump off of your gen to go sprinting to help someone. If you play Yoonjin, you are very sneaky, you're very clever, and you're a menace. You're not in the menace of a lot of other types where you're like getting in the killer's face and like trying to cause chaos, but there was one Yoonjin I ran into while I was playing Springtrap that like kept hiding around a gen and I couldn't find her to save my life. It took so long. If you play Jill, as a Jill main myself, you just kind of hang out. You're not insane at the game. Sometimes you're actually bad, but either way, you have fun. Leon mains are always very, very skilled. Usually the one who gets out via the hatch. I've learned as killer to keep my guard up around a Leon because I'm trapped in there with him as much as he's trapped in here with me. Michaela mains are usually pretty altruistic and you've got all the cute little outfits for her, but you also play like you think you're hot shit and you're usually not. I'm sorry. Whoa, wait, this dude looks like Guy Fieri. I never see this guy. And usually like if I do, he's not great, but that's okay because you look like Guy Fieri. If you main Yoichi, you're just kind of vibing. You like the pretty boy with the cool coat, you're not a tryhard, and you play the game for fun, which is novel. If you main Hattie, you're a fine enough player. You just, you prefer the lore, and you play the game for fun, but also for the lore. If you main Ada Wong, you're a lesbian. Jokes aside, I know a lot of lesbians who are obsessed with Ada Wong. That's where the joke is coming from, by the way. You're probably a Resident Evil fan who loves our pretty femme fatale. You're probably a little obsessed with her even. And you're actually pretty good at the game. You have to be good at chases because that red can be spotted a mile away. If you main Rebecca, you're not great at the game, but you know every in and out. You have every stat memorized. If you play Vittorio, you were anticipating him for so long. You're a huge lore buff, and you feel like his presence should be more expounded upon. Real quick, y'all, I want to do content creation full time. So, if you're willing to help, if you could like, subscribe, do all the cool little algorithm things, let me know what you want to see in the future, and feel free to critique me on this video. Tell me if my audio is bad. I'm just trying a new setup. But just don't be mean, I'm sensitive. If you main Talita, for one, let's go Brazil! Y'all are also quite chill. Usually you're played by a girl, but not always. I've learned my lesson. I love seeing y'all in my lobby though. If you main Renato, for one, let's go Brazil. And I see Renato a lot more than I see Talita. Y'all tend to be a menace with a flashlight and are very helpful to your fellow survivor. You guys seem to focus more on saving your teammates rather than just flashing to flashlight and be a jerk to the killer. If you play Gabriel, you are a staunch sci-fi fan. You love all the techiness. You love the, more genres to Dead by Daylight. Also, you play him because he looks like a damn model. Nick Cages are menaces, and you're really good at the game, but you're really funny. Every Ellen Ripley main I've met is a huge fan of Alien, and they choose her specifically because she has a cat in her idol animation. If you main Alan Wake, you use his perks to, of course, be a menace with a flashlight. You're often paired up with a Felix and an Ace. Killers hate to see you coming because you're just kind of beating them over the head with your flashlight while your teammates cook gens. So Sable Ward is the most played survivor. So there is a very wide area of effect, but the two categories I see most are cute girls who like to play a cute girl and dress her up, especially goth girls, and you tend to be sweet most of the time, but then toxic, a little two-faced. And then guys who really want a goth girlfriend, and for a while got a little too into those memes, but y'all have like chilled out since and learned that women are people, which good job. I usually see Ace players trying to use the music perk to be friendly with killers. Y'all are like real D&D PCs, and that you try to find every way except what the DM intended to complete a challenge, including trying your charisma on the killer. If you main Lara Croft, you often run in groups of 3 to 4 Laras, trying your best to juke the killer like a herd of friggin' ferrets. You're not usually good at the game, but that's not the point. You just want to have fun while looking at a pretty lady. Or like more specifically, there's usually one Lara that's really good and the rest are like, nah. It's you are like a herd of animals. You protect the babies. Trevor Belmont players usually have an Alucard skin, and if you're wondering, well, what happened to, you know, this skin character? I didn't want to cover it. But anyway, you're usually hyper vigilant and tend to give the killer a wider berth than necessary. Like, you hear that terror radius, you're going. If you're a Tori Bane, you love that she's one of the most unique looking female survivors. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a lot of you, so it's a little hard to pinpoint something exactly, but you seem to be fine enough at the game. If you play Arilla, I mean, likely you play her for the representation, which is nice to see, especially nowadays. But also, she's so gorgeous. I swear these models keep getting better and better. You always like playing a little bit of a healer role in games, because if you suck, you're still helping people, which takes some of the guilt off. If you're Rick Grimes main, you're obviously a Walking Dead fan, not just the show, but the games and the comics as well. You got into DVD because of the IP, but you were a little off-put about the amount of glitches that were brought with the patch. But I'm glad you're sticking with it. Hopefully behavior fixes it. If you main Michonne, you're similar to Rick Grimes in that you like The Walking Dead, but you probably more so like just the show. You've been playing for a little longer and honestly picked her up because you found the bug in her voice lines funny. And also you just like the character. So you main V, our newest lovely little survivor. Many of the people I know play her because they say she is the prettiest new survivor. I mean, her hair and her clothing and all the physics, it looks amazing. She's so cute. And a lot of V players are real chill and they like to stand near gens with the tambourine.